And we are live. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is the lady here, and you are at Interview You Stories. And I have been away for a little bit. I have been under the weather and took a completely unplanned vacation. But let me let you know that I have missed you all incredibly. It feels really weird to not have been here for a while. I have popped in briefly to take a peek around and watch a little bit. So I have not forgotten you guys at all. But she is back. She is up and running. I'm a little bit on the slow side because I'm going to be sniffling and whatnot. But she is here. The lady is here. And I see Ammo. And Up in the House Records was here. And Lynn Ko, concert pianist, singer, composer. Wow, you are awesome. That's freaking cool. Gemma. Gemma, autism is finest grace. Hey, lady, what's up? Gemma, I need your email, sweet pea. I was actually, while I was sick, trying to get a hold of you because I want to do another disability show, potentially next week, and I know you were interested in being in it. So, Gemma, I need your information. I think I was going to try to message you on Twitter. Polynesian Vlogger, what's up, baby? The girl has been gone, but she is back. I will always return, even when I get ill. And it's a rainy day in New York, but she is here. And the Midnight Raven, wonderful. We have a fantastic, fiery guest for you tonight. First off, let me say thank you for coming. Thank you for sticking around in my absence. You guys are freaking awesome. I hit 1K and then continued to go up a little bit, even though I wasn't here for a week. So you guys rock. That's wonderful. Most important part, though, always is having fun. And my guest tonight actually has just returned from a short break herself, and we're going to talk about that some. But we are here, we are ready, and the ladies are rolling. And next week, I do not have the official schedule. Is that weird or what? I know I'm always scheduled, but hey, I threw it to the wind this time because I was sick. And you know what? Nothing will die if I'm not scheduled 4 weeks in advance. But I am going to be again, so don't worry about it. Hey, Ice Rose, what's up? That's right. Halos and Heathens, what is up, Neil? And yes, Ice Rose. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys. By the way, go down in the description box if you want to check out, and actually, I demand you check out my guest after the show. She's linked right below. And I'm just messing with y'all, for anybody who's new. And please know, for anybody who is new, that all my live events, whether it be Lady Borgia Live or Interview You Stories, you guys are welcome as viewers and creators. Please check each other out, get to know each other, make friends. And if you see somebody who doesn't have any videos and they're a viewer, hi, that was me until 5 months ago. So that doesn't mean they're a troll. That just means they keep their stuff private. And I turned mine into a public channel 5 months ago and then boom, took off. So let's make friends with them because, hey, I was one too. And I like chatting and talking and stuff like that. So, oh, ammo animation. I know. I love Mama Styles headphones too. I'm going to have to get myself a pair. And Wonder Music. Also, I wanted to make an announcement real quick. Normally, I don't do this, but since I wasn't on Lady Borgia Live this week, make sure you check out Wonder Music. He has 100 days of music going, which is freaking incredible. That is a lot to do. I'm a musician and that is just a lot. So yeah, Ice Rose, I love your name. That is such a cool name. I love it. So make friends, do whatnot. And coming up next week, there will be a new schedule. We will be having the disability discussion again for mental, physical disabilities, caregivers, family, and friends, so on and so forth. And anybody interested in participating, like I said, we're going to be doing it once to twice per month for support, awareness, and otherwise. Because guess what? It is going on, and boy, do I have stories for you guys when it becomes Lady Borgia Lab. But it ain't that today. So don't be afraid to tell stories of your own. You Stories is all about everyone connecting. And it's going to be about Mama Styles. But for anybody new, I will also be telling stories. And guess what? So will you. The you is like all of you. So without further ado, welcome, Mama Styles.
Hi.
How are you doing this evening?
Nervous as hell.
I love her. Now, Mama Styles, up until what was it, a year ago? You were known, it was a year or 2 years ago that you were known as the Tigress Cleopatra.
Um, Last year I actually killed Tigress Cleo because she wasn't what I was about anymore. She was still doing makeup and still doing all the stuff that I was doing now, but it's just the name didn't represent what I have become as a mother.
That's well, that makes a lot of sense because hey, Faye's World, wonderful to see you. Glad to see you. That makes a lot of sense to me because a lot of things change when you become a mother, but you still have, all the things that you like to do, and obviously your channel is still. And by the way, guys, if you aren't familiar, this isn't about the channel. This is about the person, and not everybody on this show has a channel, but she does. So, I happen to be obsessed with her old name, the Tigress Cleopatra. I love it.
It was
But
actually just Tigress Cleo back then.
well, see, that's good then because I call you Tigress Cleo all the time. So I'm good. I didn't mess up. I still call her the Tigress Cleo because I love the name. But so of those things that change, I mean, you have a beautiful little boy. How have things changed for you between starting? We're going to start off here, and then, guys, we're going to go all over the place. Mama Styles has more interesting things than you could ever imagine. Trust me. But we're going to start here, and we're going to work into those things. So once you had Leo, your beautiful son, what did you find changing for you doing YouTube and other things?
Well, originally, before I had Leo, of course, my channel was mainly just makeup, lifestyle, and also I had cooking videos, but not as much cooking videos. But when he was born, mom vlogs was born. I started doing mommy vlogs and started doing stuff about him. But also, when I was pregnant, I was also doing vlogs about the pregnancy itself.
Oh, really? You know what? I have not seen those. I have to go back, and I didn't even know that you have cooking videos.
I have over 400 and something videos on my channel.
Okay, then I shouldn't feel bad if I didn't find them all. Okay. That is really impressive. 400 and some odd videos is wow. That is a lot of hard work.
They, um, that's also possibly the reason why I was getting so frustrated with the fact that with the watch time and all that stuff, and that's why I needed to take a break for about a week because it was getting to me, and so now it's just towards the point where I am trying not to give a damn about the watch time, and that's why I'm in the process of actually reinventing my channel. It's not me about reinventing myself as a person, but it's about me reinventing what my channel is about and not giving a damn now and bringing more of my real self into my channel and not just being the more serious side of myself. I'm trying to evolve all aspects of myself.
Yeah, that's really awesome because I don't know, for those of you who don't know Mama Styles, I've actually talked to Mama Styles a lot. I talk to her almost every day now, and I'm very happy to have met her and become friends with her. Before we did the show, and I got to know her even better in the process of pre-interview for the show and talking otherwise. But this is one feisty lady, guys, and you might not have known it originally before her break, because I don't want to say you were a little more subdued, and I think it's really cool that you took a step back and said, you know what, I'm going to take a breath, and then here I come. Hey guys, it's me, and this is what I'm bringing. I think that's fantastic
Yeah.
that you're now serving yourself.
And if people don't like it, they can kiss my butt.
Yes, that's what I love. Rock on. See, I love that. Yeah, Ammo, and you thought you had a lot of videos.
And they better
Exactly.
and they better pray that I don't accidentally fart in their face.
I love this. See, this is a side of Mama Steph a lot of you may not have seen, but you're going to see more of her. And this is the perfect time to have her on as she's coming back out fully as herself and happy. And I think that's happened to a lot of people. Like I said, we don't normally talk about channels a lot, but in this occasion it really makes sense to, because this is a big thing that's happened to her lately, is people become dejected. They have a lot of videos that they put in a lot of there we go, yeah, I went to college, put a lot of energy into, and Ammo goes but people are loving that. Halos and Heathens loves it. Butts. Everybody's yelling about butts. Halos, is this an adult show? Nope, not yet. But remember, we can always push the borders. And no,
Yeah, well,
butts
too
doesn't.
bad I have my 2-year-old behind me, so it's gonna have to be at least around anywhere between PG or PG-13.
Yeah, we're not going to go past that because Sir Leo is too. So it's
Yeah.
we got to keep it there. Although, guys, we are having another adult edition. It's going to be a costume party, and we're going to have another one, but we're going to talk about that later. Polynesian vloggers see more butts. All right. See, people are already loving this in Mama Styles. As you can see, it's very popular. The real side of you, they're enjoying the hell out of this. I mean, I think we're all.
Well, today when I was live, I even had okay, I'm having a brain fart right here. I had somebody, oh, Windy City. I had him in my live chat today.
Windy City Steve. Yes, I am familiar with him.
Yeah, I had him in my live chat, and my hubby comes in, while I'm doing my makeup and stuff, and he starts tickling me and everything, and get me to start laughing and snorting on camera. I was like, I'm not gonna start snorting on camera, but yeah, and then I ended up letting out a burp on camera. I was like, at least I didn't fart. At least I didn't fart. And then Windy City said something about doing a drive-by fart. I forgot what he called it, but it was something. Yeah, so.
Knowing Windy City Steve, he has a ton of euphemisms for them. I'm willing to bet. In fact, I think Neil here, yeah, Steve. Neil says Steve-O is awesome. Although I think I'm not sure whether it's Windy Steve or Neil with the euphemisms. I think they could go neck and neck on that one, the two of
Yeah.
them. But so when did you decide? When did it finally get to you, and what happened where you wanted to rebrand your channel? And when did you decide the numbers? Screw it! I don't want to do it for the numbers anymore. I want to just have fun. F it. I mean, we'll put it
Well,
nicely.
last week when I started to try to do that, and because I was getting upset with my channel. The reason why I really started doing it because it was starting to stress me out, and I was coming towards a point where I was trying to keep up with the numbers that I was recording every day, and it was starting to piss me off more and more when I would see my numbers fluctuate up and down. I'm like, what the heck, YouTube? Why are you doing this? And then I started realizing that, wait a second, what if I just come on here and I actually start having fun? And I was starting to realize that watching you, seeing your numbers going up, your numbers doing whatever it's doing, it wasn't because you were trying. It was because you were just coming on here and saying, screw it, I'm going to be myself, I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and I'm just going to have fun.
That is true. I have come on. I've only been on for 5 months, but I did come on from the beginning, just kind of, hey, here I am.
Speaking of the devil, Windy City is here.
Oh, Windy City Steve. We were just talking about you. We've got S2W themes, Wicked Fabs. Oh my goodness. You guys are all rolling in. I've been gone for a week and it is so wonderful to see you guys. Mama Styles just came back from a break. Mine wasn't planned. I got sick. So, but, and you guys know I had to be sick enough to actually miss a show. So, but I'm all right. I'm on the way back. But what we're talking about is Mama Styles and how she kind of got tired of YouTube being a numbers game and decided, you know, forget it. I want to go back and have fun. And she was just saying how she saw me come on new and just kind of, I think I don't know how to do anything else. I'm not really, I pull back sometimes so I don't get in trouble, but we all know that I can push it a little bit. But hey, Kimberly Herod, wonderful to see you. Another lovely lady. Um, so yeah, Steve, we were talking about euphemisms and you and how much Mama Styles enjoyed how you made her laugh on her live stream and everything else, and how she's decided to turn her channel around and have fun with it instead of worrying about numbers and who's got this and who's got that. And honestly, I think it's probably the best way to go. So, how
Yes.
long have you been back now?
I have technically been back since Saturday.
All right.
Um,
So,
I
go ahead.
I
I'm sorry.
recorded my live video on Saturday, and that's how it went down. And I had somebody come in try to tell me, try to ask me what to do about his girlfriend wearing too much makeup, and I told him there's really nothing you could do about it. He was just being a butt about it and everything. And
Yeah, I
uh,
mean, I think that's fairly simple. If you have something about it, you either talk to her or move on. I mean, there's two options.
I guess he was wanting to try to tell her um that she can't wear too much makeup and stuff. And somebody is trying to call me. Hold on, I gotta decline a call.
Okay, that's okay. No worries about. Oh, ammo. Is Mama Stale secretly a kitty? I know. I love her headphones. I have to get something like that.
I
Annalise has
and
kitty headphones too. I love them.
Yeah. Um, my husband told me where this comes from, but I'm not very good at remembering names. But if he would like to, he can come over here and type in the chat where it came from.
Okay, sure. Absolutely. If he
But
wants to. Go ahead. He can do that at any point.
I see on my end, it's buffering on the end, so I'm hoping that it's not causing a problem for
Uh,
everybody in the chat, that
it,
everybody can see us.
yeah, I can see us perfectly fine. Windy City Steve. Oh, it's something you've always had the gift of euphemisms and certain vernacular, fun, interesting way. Yeah,
Okay.
I love euphemisms myself. And Windy City Steve, you should come on the next adult edition of Lady Borgia Live, or actually, is it You Stories? Who I don't know. It's one of my shows. One of the two that you should come on the next adult edition because I do have a euphemism game that we did not get to play last time. So you are perfectly set up for that, and I'm pretty good at it myself. Although I don't know, you might have me beat. We will have to see. We'll have a euphemism war. But oh, and Mama Stella says her cat ear headphones and headset are from Adventware. That's awesome. I'm gonna have to get some. But yes. So are you going to be continuing on? Are you going to be adding cooking back in, or some of the mom stuff?
Um,
Where do you plan on going? And then we're going to move into some other stuff.
well, right now, makeup and stuff is like my main thing on my channel. I am going to try to add more cooking videos, but the kitchen that I have right now is kind of small-ish, so it's kind of a bit of a struggle, especially with being able to have somebody film me, or I'm in there trying to film it myself. It's a bit of a pain in the butt.
Yeah, I can hear
So
that. I have a fairly, I actually wanted to do some filming of cooking, but what the heck is going on? Okay, I don't know what's going on in my house, but something's happening on the first floor. Oh, well, we're just going to ignore that. um, what is
maybe your house is haunted.
that? Actually, there is a spirit in my house, but he only likes to hide things. So he's nothing too scary there. And if there ever was anything nasty in my house, I'd boot it the hell out. It wouldn't last very long for me. I love Windy
Yeah.
City Steve. Okay, I'll pencil you in. Yes, darling, I need your email. So, something really interesting about Mama Styles that you guys may not know, and we're going to have her on one of the disability show discussions, is Mama Styles is hard of hearing. And we were going to have her talk a little bit about that. Many of you may not know because I think her speech therapy has gone phenomenally. But which ear is it you can't hear in?
I cannot hear out of my right ear completely.
And do you have reduced hearing in the left?
Yes, I have reduced hearing in my left. Without the hearing aid, it's about 30% without it. And then the
Wow.
hearing aid makes up a certain amount of a percentage. I want to do the cochlear implant in my right ear, but I am unsure how to go about that because the cochlear implant is not 100%. And I'm
Right.
not sure of how to go about it. It seems like it would be a very scary surgery to have to go through.
That's it sounds it sounds very different. I've watched shows on it, and especially after the fact, they say that it can actually almost be frightening when you actually do start hearing noise through that ear. I don't know, but just
Actually, the reason why people who are hard of hearing, like me, do not get surgery done, like the
mhm,
cochlear implant, like that, because the implant itself can damage the hearing around whatever it is within
really.
that ear. So if this ear has any hearing in it at all, it would be completely gone with the cochlear implant.
Oh, yeah, that would definitely be frightening, and that's definitely a chance to take. So, with the cochlear implant, do you have to have any amount of hearing? Can you do it with the ear that is with the ear that you're profoundly deaf in, or do you have to have a certain amount of hearing for it to work?
I think I would have to be completely deaf in my whichever ear that is getting the cochlear implant. So my audiologist said that if I wanted to, my right ear, because it's considered profoundly deaf, can have the cochlear implant. And the only reason why I want the cochlear implant is to try to balance out the hearing between the two ears.
Well, yeah, that's absolutely understandable. I mean, not being able to hear completely in one ear, obviously, would make things difficult. I know Angel is completely deaf in her right ear. And she was talking about, I don't know if you do the same thing, but she says she tends to walk on one side and get herself turned
Yeah.
around. You do the same thing, so you've got
Yes,
towards the ear.
something that's sort of like that happens with me. It's because this is a word that I'm gonna have a hard time pronouncing, so I'm just not gonna pronounce the E word. I'm just gonna say it throws our balance off.
Okay, yeah, don't worry about it. Yes,
And my husband said it
e-
for me.
yes, equilibrium. All right, so then it affects the fluid in your inner ear, which is what gives you your equilibrium on each side. So yeah,
I can't ride a bike.
wow, that I did not know. That's amazing. So you can't ride a bike. Can you roller skate? What things can you not do being profoundly deaf in one ear?
Um,
Just out of
well,
curiosity. You don't have to answer anything that you wouldn't want to. I'm just out of curiosity. I did not know that.
um, well, right now I can't really roller skate.
But
It
that was the
just
one I was thinking of next.
it would be very difficult for me. I mean, I can probably learn, but would be difficult for me, and the problem with me is I'm overly cautious. I am an overly cautious person where towards the point where I try not to allow myself to do things that I might end up getting hurt. And to me, that is very difficult to live life like that. Um, I'm even overly cautious when I drive because I was told my whole entire life that, oh, because you're hard of hearing, because you have a disability, you may not be able to drive. Your reflexes might be off or something like that.
Right, right.
Um, and so now I tend to drive overly cautiously, and also it's part of the problem, the reason why I drive overly cautious too, because I've also been in 3 different car accidents
Oh
as
my
a
goodness.
passenger. And so now I have a problem with that too, and now I get high anxiety when I'm in the car as a passenger.
Oh, I can't blame you. I mean, I know people that have gotten anxiety after being in one accident, but in multiple accidents and otherwise, and having a discrepancy with your balance and your equilibrium, I think is more than understandable why you might have, anxiety having to do with that and being, since you can get hurt easily and you don't have the same balance say, as someone else. I don't know. I think that would probably affect me too, thinking about it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
nobody wants to get hurt.
the first car accident was actually the original one that started my anxiety up. The other two just heightened it more.
Yeah, that would make, if you don't mind me asking, what kind of accident was it?
The first car accident, I was helping somebody deliver newspapers, and this is up in the high desert. I was in Hesperia. This area has like a hill, and it's through traffic, and we were at a stop sign, and the driver that in the car that I was in, um, that there was nobody coming, and he went to go straight, and we were T-boned.
Oh,
And I saw the car coming, and I screamed, and the car went, when he got T-boned, we went this way. That was the original one that started it all. And then the second car accident with the hubby, um, we had a Buick that was having some problems, and the ABS light coming off, and I guess I thought he was trying to make a U-turn. It wasn't him trying to make a U-turn. It was something going on with the brakes, and it made us go this way, and we T-boned somebody else. And the third one, there was an oil slick on the freeway, and we ended up um, rear-ending somebody else.
oh,
And the
wow.
freeway one, I was 11 to 12 weeks pregnant with Leo.
Holy crap. That's
Yeah,
frightening as hell. Oh my God. Yeah, that's some anxiety right there. Getting in an accident pregnant. Oh,
yeah.
not that the other ones weren't frightening. I mean, I don't take away from them at all, but wow, that's something else.
But see, the thing is, when I'm in the car with him now and he's driving, because I don't like to drive very much because my left ear is on the driver's side, and this is the ear that has the hearing aid in it. And
Mhm.
so it irks me when he's trying to talk to me while I'm driving, so it makes me extra nervous. So that's why I'd rather be a passenger. But even as a passenger, I'm freaking the hell out. And he has to tell me, it's okay, it's okay. And he tries to reassure me. Um, but I think what the problem is not trying to diagnose myself, but there is a possibility that I might have post traumatic stress disorder from the car accidents.
Oh, sure. I don't think that would be shocking at all, and especially like when you're saying with your driving, you can't hear everything. You can't hear what's going on in the car. Heck, I've driven with little kids in the car with full hearing. That's one thing that works really well on me is my hearing. Not so
Yeah.
much my sight, but my ears work. And which is really weird since I paint, but whatever, that's another story. But driving with small children in the car, even with full hearing, can be really overwhelming because they're
Yeah.
chattering and there's, traffic noise and whatnot and this, that. So I can only imagine trying to do that and you only have a certain percentage of your hearing. I'd have anxiety through the roof too.
I mean, I still have anxiety when I drive, but I'm a little bit more relaxed when I'm driving by myself and there's nobody trying to talk to me. But then
Yeah,
sometimes I even scare myself while driving because I'm sitting there going, I'm a little bit relaxed, and sometimes I make, little boo boos while I'm driving. I'm not innocent at that. We all freaking do that.
for
And
sure.
it's irritating when I drive sometimes and I'm like sitting there watching somebody else driving near me. And sometimes I get a little mad at somebody who's driving in front of me going 30 to 35, maybe 45 miles an hour in a 55 mile an hour zone, and I'm like and I start
We, we,
yelling
we,
at
we
them.
all love that. That's just a fantastic driver. Yeah, in this area, we call them people from Pennsylvania. Sorry, everybody from Pennsylvania. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But I'm sorry, but it is a thing around here. Somebody's like, oh, damn, it's a Pennsylvania
But
license plate.
as a
I kid you
California
guys.
driver, people in California, they're like, when we have rain, we have more car accidents because people don't know how to drive in the freaking rain. It's like, what the heck?
Yeah, that's true. In fact, I think that happens everywhere. California, the one thing I did notice after I moved away from California and I would come back is, especially if I would go back to visit California, my family with my mother. Hey, Wrestler Mania, he is from Pennsylvania. Girl, I
Yeah, Windy City being,
know.
a little fun troll. He's not like one of those trolls that come on and be a butthole. He's one of those fun trolls.
Yes, Windy City Steve absolutely is. WrestleMania, I knew I was going to get somebody. I'm glad it was you, darling. Oh, and WrestleMania, I have not forgotten your email. I've been sick. I've just come back after a week. This is my first time back on YouTube. So I have not forgotten you or your email. And I actually need to email you tomorrow for another disabilities discussion. So I have not forgotten you, darling. Halos and Heathen said he is slow ass driver in the car. He says, get me on a motorcycle though, and that's a different story. Yeah, it's so easy to go fast on a motorcycle, isn't it? Neil, do you? I didn't know Neil had. I did not realize Neil had his motorcycle license. Why would I not know that? It's not like I haven't listened to him for enough hours. Anyway,
So there's a chance that if he was driving in a car in front of me and he was driving slow, there's a chance that my butt will be yelling at his butt.
this is something I would love to see because both of them live in California. I'm not going to say where Hills and Heathens lives, and I'm not going to say where Mama Styles lives. I happen to know where both of them live, but this is something that potentially they could cross paths. And the mental picture of Neil driving down the road when he says that must be Neil talking because he drives like he's got Miss Daisy in the back. And I've got this mental picture of Neil driving Miss Daisy with Mama Styles hot on his ass chasing him. This is my 5-year-old mind. Sorry guys. It just launched into
Actually, I wouldn't chase him, but yeah, I would be cursing him out. I would be like, "Hey, it's 55 miles an hour, not 45." But a little
seriously.
bit with a little more expletives.
Well, those are always good in the car. Well, as long as you don't have a kid present, they're always good in the car. Neil says, I can't remember.
OMG, those like sometimes I don't even think. I have my son in the back of the car, and oops, the curse words fly out.
I think it's an accident. It's probably happened to everyone. Neil says, I can't write anymore. Yeah, Neil has traumatic brain injury. Yeah, Neil, I don't write a lot myself because of my arthritis. Um, it throws me off using the clutch so much and worrying about my hands reacting properly. I do not write often because of that. So, but I actually dream that I'm writing and I wake up with my foot shifting and working the clutch. So I've ridden so many thousands of miles, it's like ingrained in my head. Um,
Oh,
oh, Mama Styles, Healers and Heathen says, Mama Styles would be cursing me the whole way. And Cher Erickson, thank you so much for joining us. Get to know everybody, chat. If you have a story to tell as we're telling a story, welcome, because You Stories is for everyone's stories. We have a guest every week that we schedule out, but you are welcome to tell your stories too. Halos and Heathen said it was crazy for me to even buy fast cars. I just like to wash and wax them. Yeah, and Neil, I miss it too. I hear the bikes start up and I would be riding every day if I could. It's just not safe for me to do it all the time. So I'm very cautious about it. And
have you thought about switching to an automatic instead of a stick shift?
oh, well, it's not so much that I actually hate automatics and well, I don't even like using the word hate, but I prefer a stick shift in a car. As for a motorcycle, I would probably rather die than ride an automatic motorcycle. It just kind of like takes everything out of it.
Yeah.
It's not the same, and I don't feel under the same control if I can't downshift. So even in a car, I feel more in control if I can downshift and shift, and it's just there's more control over the car. I just have to watch it because in a car, the clutch is on my left foot. On a motorcycle, it's on my left hand. So if
Yeah.
my hand wears out and stuff like that, it can cause issues. Or if I'm just not feeling well because you're balancing, you're also doing a lot of things that if you're not a rider, you don't realize, like being
Yeah.
buffered by the wind, being pelted with sand, all kinds of fun things that Windy City Steve says Lady Borgia's hands are from years of wear and tear in the massage parlor. Unless that's me getting one, no, I am not the queen of giving massages. Sorry. I'll ride a motorcycle for thousands of miles, but I better like you a lot to give you a massage. Yeah, Kimberly says riding a manual bike is no fun. Shifting is, yeah, exactly, Kimberly. Even with a car for me. But I think that's because I've ridden since I was 12 with dirt bikes. But which I can assume because of your hearing, if you can't ride a bicycle, you obviously have not ridden a motorcycle. Well, ridden a motorcycle yourself, obviously, Mama Styles, correct?
No.
Yeah, that would not be safe.
Quads though.
Oh, you like quad?
My grandpa
Nice.
is trying to teach me how to ride a quad, but unfortunately, the quad that he was trying to teach me is also a manual. Uh, the downside to manuals for me is that if I can't hear them very well, it's hard for me to try to shift. So that's why I prefer automatics over anything. Um,
Gotcha. Because one of the things with them, once you get used to it, you can actually feel it rather than hear
yeah,
it. But
yeah,
you'd have to get used to when that feeling comes up because depending if they change the exhaust on it too, which can make things louder and vibrate more, it would
yeah,
make it easier for you to feel it. Because one of my ex-boyfriends, he had I mean, not a motorcycle, obviously that's on two wheels, it's not safe, but like he had Vance and Hines short shots put on his standard soft tail, and that was, popping and crackling and louder than hell. And I used to ride that, and it wasn't just the sound, you felt that bike. So it was
yeah,
that would probably help you a lot. Oh, WrestleMania
yeah.
says my father had to get a gold wing trike Oh, I know those. Due to his age and his balance, he went to Sturgis. See, I get all excited. Jesus. He went to Sturgis and got teased about having training wheels. He promptly went on a competition track and won first place. Rock on! That is awesome. And yes, sure, Erickson, I would be happy to teach you all about makeup. In fact, I have a lot of videos of much
And
colorful stuff coming out, and Mama Styles actually does a lot of makeup ones too. I've been doing this since I was about 6 years old. My mom was a model.
yeah, yeah, Windy City. Yeah, I could put a tachometer on it, but the only problem is the tachometer. If I'm trying to drive the quad or drive a car that's stick shift, I would probably be paying too much attention to the tachometer than trying to feel it, and that might actually be a distraction for me.
Yeah, that's if you get used to it, because you actually don't pay that much attention to it. But if you're not comfortable with it, because yeah, a tack definitely would help. Most cars that are standard have a tack in them, and bikes. But if you're not comfortable with it, you're not comfortable with it. So
Yeah.
because actually, when I'm driving a vehicle with a tack on it, I don't look at it very much. You're just flicking your eyes back and forth, and most of the time, once you know the vehicle, in fact, I had this happen. My car was in the shop. Somebody backed into my car, and I've driven stick for years and years and years. And as part of the thing, they gave me a rental car. It happened to be automatic. That's all they had. And there's certain places on the road that you're used to downshifting or upshifting or whatever. And I went to take a turn off my road onto a main road, and that's right where I always would shift into second gear. And without thinking, I took off, went to shift into second as I went into a turn, and accidentally caught my left foot on the brake. And we slammed on the brake and ended up sliding sideways down the road because it caught the brake, and it just went. It was raining, so there we are. Luckily, nobody was out. It was like 9:30 at night and on a weekday, and we're just sliding down the road and came to a screeching halt. Hey, Farmall fanatic! I'm telling you how awful I drive automatics. And that's where I realized, wow, I should not drive an automatic. I'm dangerous. But you literally get in certain spots where you drive all the time, it's just habit. And yeah, I sent us into a screeching halt. My boyfriend, I looked over, I'm like, you all right? He's like, yeah, it's just, when we come back from the store, you're not driving. You can't drive automatic. So I'm a little ass backwards. But that sounds fun though. I don't know. Maybe you might be able to ride with the louder trike in the future or whatnot. But what other things? Because you were talking about the cochlear implant. What other things about the surgery? Is there anything about the actual surgery itself, other than losing your hearing, that are frightening to you?
Well,
Oh,
it's
and
a
I'm sorry,
surgery.
Alien. How are you? And thank you for checking on me, Alien. That's so sweet.
Um, it's mainly the fact that it's invasive. They have to pull it down, and that's like, I think my cesarean's bad. This is gonna be worse. You know,
Yeah, well, that's true. I mean, all surgery is dangerous.
like,
That's a fair statement.
because if it's near, it would be near my head, and there's a good chance that it could cause me to have headaches along that with that. Trying, to heal for 6 weeks from that, because
Oh,
it's like,
that's a lot, especially with a 2-year-old.
yeah,
Wow, that's a tremendous amount. Stepping back just for a second, Alien accidentally said, "Hi there, how are you?" And then he says, "I mean, how are you?" It's okay, Alien, we're fine. WrestleMania says he used to have a BCS 441 when he was young. It was a beast. I believe it. Weighed a ton. Not the easiest to ride. Burned my leg on it multiple times. Oddly enough, I loved that bike. Sold it before I went into the military. Oh, that sounds fun. Well, hey, at least you get to do it for a while. Better than nothing, right? Um, yeah, that would definitely be something, because having that surgery and then trying to heal for 6 weeks with a 2-year-old, I'm not sure.
Well, I haven't talked to my doctor yet about it,
Right.
so it might end up being when Leo is a little early, a little older. Um, but who knows if I end up having another kid or not? I'm actually on the fence about having another kid due to the fact that I had a C-section with him. And that's another thing that I plan on
Yes.
bringing into my channel is trying to fight for women to be able to say no on repeat cesareans.
Wonderful. Yeah, this
Because,
is something that we're going to bring up. Just quickly, Cher Erickson, thank you so much for coming. And anything that you want to learn or makeup you want to know about, leave me a comment or a message, and I would be happy to teach you or make you a video. I've been out a little bit because I have rheumatoid arthritis and fibromyalgia, and I've been sick, but I love teaching. So anything you'd like to learn, please hit me up. Yeah, this is also another thing that we were going to talk about with Mama Styles is she previously had a cesarean with her son. And for those of you who don't know, there's quite a few hospitals that do not allow a VBAC, which is a vaginal birth after cesarean. Just automatically, it's not allowed. The woman is not given a choice. And this is a platform that also Mama Styles wanted to talk about. Please go ahead.
well, about 40% of hospitals up in the U.S. do not allow for feedbacks, and quite a few of them are up in the high desert where I live. There is St. Mary's, Victory Valley Hospital, and Desert Valley. Those three will not allow you to have a feedback. And see, the thing is, with Leo, what was going on with him was out of my control. I didn't even get a chance to go into labor with him. I didn't get to experience any of that at all because
Mm-hmm.
I went in for an NST, and what an NST is a non-stress test. And you know how like you had those Braxton Hicks contractions? Well, I was
Yes.
having those, and they were measuring those, and they were measuring his heart rate. Well, his heart rate went down one time, and they wanted to induce me to be on the safe side. I didn't even get to experience the full effects of the inducing because when I went to go to the bathroom with the little belts around my belly, um, they his heart rate went down again as I was trying to come back and everything, and it
Right.
went down at least 3 times. And so they said, we can't risk this anymore. And they told me if I was dilated to a 6, I was not dilated to a 6, they would have allowed me to progress. But because I was not, I ended up having to have an emergency cesarean.
Mm-hmm.
And this also put my husband in a very, very tough spot back then. And he ended up having to go to work then back then because his job was threatening to fire him if he did not, and we didn't want that happening while he just has a newborn son.
Wow. I mean, yeah, that's absolutely incredible. You have a child on the way, and suddenly you have to go into work. Whatever company that was, pardon me, but you suck. Not to be rude, but I mean, when your child is on the way in, your place is with your wife and your
well
child. I mean,
well he
I'm sorry. That's
told
one thing I
me.
spoke up about because when you told me that, I was like, wow. And I don't want to get him in trouble or anything, but
Yeah,
it just I was floored that somebody would do that to you guys. It was like, what the hell? Come on.
like they were like, well, we don't have anybody to replace you right now, blah blah blah. And he's security, you can't leave your post if you're security.
Right, right.
And but the post that he was at, they knew that he had a child on the way, and they were kind of upset with the company that he works for. So I have more resentment towards the company that he worked for back then. And then, like I told you a while back, a couple of months later, they wrongfully terminate him anyways because of something happening to one of the patrol vehicles. So it's like just a slap in the face.
Yeah, that's incredible, to not only do that and have them go in, and then that is, there's nothing else to put it, that's a slap in the face. Kimberly Harrod was saying she had a friend that almost bled to death after trying to have a VBAC. It's really, it's a case by case basis. To automatically tell a woman that she does not have a choice without an exam and a personal individual assessment, though, is also unfair, because some women can have, very safely and without disrupting their health, they can have, vaginal births after having a cesarean. Other women, it's not safe. But I think what Mama Styles is talking about is not being able to have the option even to be looked at to see if she can, make that, is she viable for that choice. And what was it, WrestleMania says, my oldest son's ear bones never fully developed. He now has dual hearing aids. He obviously still has difficulty with hearing. The doc offered to do a cochlear. And Kimberly says her friend's uterus tore from the stress of the old incision site. Yeah, that's very common, where the scarring is. And she was absolutely horrible. WrestleMania says he decided not to go with it because the risk of total deafness, as you said, Mama Styles. They
Yes.
opted to not go with the cochlear. He said we would have been okay with the deafness, but decided not to take the risk. Um, yeah, and Kimberly Harrod's agreeing. She said, yes, some people it goes well. She says, I think you should be able to choose. And interesting. Alien says, I'm interested in the new TV show where the head of the hospital wants to help people, and he's told they're not there to help people. I have not seen that, Alien. What show is that? I don't know. I've been out in my own little world. I think I've been asleep a lot, to be perfectly honest. Mama Styles I didn't answer her for a day or two. And normally I actually talk to Mama Styles quite frequently now. And she tracked me down on another thing. And I was like, whoops, crap. Sorry, guys. I was asleep. But you have to tell me about that. Yeah. And Kimberly's saying, I also know women who have had VBACs and everything's going great. I think, but I've got to say, not having the option to even be examined to see if you are viable to do that, I think is pretty unfair. Oh, it's
Well,
NBC.
the doctors through the high desert have to follow what the hospital policies are. But my problem is with that. I feel like it should be between the woman and the doctor, not between the woman, the doctor, and the hospital. The hospital should not have any say in what I can and can't do with, how I'm going to birth my child, unless it's an emergency.
Yes, I mean there's emergencies. The unfortunate factor though with a lot of hospitals is they get into their insurance, what their insurance will cover, what it will cost them, and it becomes an issue of red tape, whereas it's no longer the woman's choice or the patient, depending on what it is, and it starts to become
And
about.
that goes against their damn oath. They took an oath to do no harm. When you do that, just because there's a chance this woman could die trying to give uh, birth to her baby, and the baby could die too, that that you're choosing money over anything. You're basically saying my insurance doesn't cover this because it could be considered a malpractice because I did not make this woman have a cesarean. If she has a cesarean and both die on the table, we are covered because it shows that we tried. And I put
Yeah,
that in quotations.
well, it's true, because a cesarean is major surgery. I mean, you are cutting through the entire abdominal wall, and a lot of people don't realize, the amount of muscle and tissue that you are going through to get to the uterus, to get to the baby. Because I've heard women say, oh, I want to take the easy way out. I want a cesarean. I'm going, honey, if you want the easy way out, have a vaginal birth. Let me tell you, you'll heal much faster. It's It's
Yeah.
not, it's not a little thing. It's major surgery to have that. So I understand where there's times that it's necessary, but if there is the chance that a baby can be born vaginally and safely, it's actually can be safer. So and
Yeah.
Alien 6467, he says you have to be your own advocate. And I absolutely agree. And Ammo Animation, thank you so much. I am such a terrible advocate for my own show. Please tweet this out and give this a like, give us a thumbs up. I am absolutely horrible about this. So definitely, yes, tweet this out and give a thumbs up. Thank you so much, everyone. Um, that's amazing because it's true. I mean, you have a 2-year-old, you're more than arranged to have a second child and everything else like that. I can understand why that would also put off potentially another a cochlear implant, because a baby would, that would even be wow, you know, so it might be longer. Oh, Alien 6467 says I had to fight to get an aortic valve repair at the Cleveland Clinic when my insurance said they would not let me. I fought them for 3 months and won. Good for you, Alien. You rock, because you know what? You have to fight for things sometimes. I'm going to be
Yeah.
talking about some things on Lady Borgia Live that I'm in the process of next week. And Kimberly said, it's insane, but I've been at multiple C-sections and they're brutal. Yeah, they are. It is,
Um.
wow, the stuff you have to cut through. I could sit here and name all of it, and it's incredible what you've got to go through to get to that baby.
Yeah. So the thing is, my insurance will cover a vaginal birth after cesarean, but they told me that I would have to get a referral to go down to a hospital called Loma Linda, which is almost an hour away from me where I
Yeah,
live.
yeah, I'm familiar with Loma Linda.
And to me, that is bullcrap. And the reason why I say that is bullcrap, because what if I'm on the freeway and I'm having complications and I'm not in an actual hospital? And this is why I think it's unethical to force a woman to have to go to another hospital that's a certain amount of miles away.
It definitely makes it more difficult, and it definitely is, you know, it does put you in a situation where if there are difficulties, you're kind of
Yeah.
forced into it. So definitely something that I can't blame you for standing up for. I don't think I would want to be forced to have surgery if there was a chance that I could go without it. I
Yeah.
mean, a C-section is not something I would ever want
Yeah.
personally. I would
Um,
definitely try
rumor
to do everything around it. Go ahead, please.
has it. Apparently, my doctor. Not gonna say his name on here,
Sure.
but my doctor apparently told another woman, because he's all for feedbacks. He says that if she was to go into labor and the baby was almost down out of the birth canal anyways, he would have no choice but to deliver that baby anyways.
Well, yeah, I mean, what's he gonna do? Shove it back up? I mean, at that point,
Yeah.
I mean, it's coming. You're not gonna. Well, actually, I do know a person who had to get it pushed back, but that's a different story. The cord was wrapped around, and they literally did have to push the child back up. Which I went, oh Lord, that's not a thought that I would
Um,
ever.
the reason
Whoa.
why I had to have a cesarean with Leo, because when they pulled him out, he did have the cord wrapped around him. That's why his heart rate was going down.
That, yeah, that would definitely make D cells.
So you
Um,
know that was out of my hands back then. But to make it where it's something that I can control this time around, if I was to have another kid, then that's when I need to learn to speak up.
yeah, and that's something that honestly is very important, learning to speak up, whether it be because of disability, because of medical issues, or even in things that are outside of the medical arena that affect you medically. I mean, I brought up and thank you, Wrestler Mina, he just brought up the show. It's NBC. This is about the head of a hospital. It's called New Amsterdam. So I'm going to put that Hold on 1 second so I can put it in my next show so people can check it out. The head doctor tears up bureaucracy to create a hospital that once again cares. Nice. Okay, cool. Thank you so much, WrestleMania. I really appreciate that. I do want to put that in my future shows. Like I said, it feels so weird that I've been gone for a week. Anyway, I'm sorry. Could you repeat the last thing again? I got thrown off for a second. My brain just stalled. I'm sorry, Mama Styles.
It's okay.
I was right in the middle of a thought and I went to write that down and my brain just stopped for a second. But
Well,
hey,
it was
what
the
the hell
part where we
happens
were
to us?
talking about, even I kind of forgot what it was, but it's the part where, I need to, be able to speak up for myself the next time I get pregnant.
Yes,
Because,
yes, that is. I remember what I was going to say because I was talking about our recreation department um, being discriminatory towards myself, and actually, it has amped up.
yeah,
And we've had issues. Mama Styles knows about this, and I talked about it on Lady Borgia Live. But people can do it not only just in the medical field, but they will take your disability and use it, try to use it against you, or use it to give you non-service. I was actually told this week, if you don't like it, don't participate. And they refused to fix a computer error. And I told them that they were trying to make me administer under the administration portal, which I had no access to, although I do have training in computer licensing and software, and told them,
yeah.
you're trying to make a client go through the administrative portal, which I have no access to. I only have access to the client portal. And they basically told me they refused to fix it for me and refused to make it available to me, especially as a disabled individual. I'm supposed to get up and go down to their offices and take a trip out of my way to do this, and they're refusing to fix it and trying to tell me it's my own fault. So
Hmm.
yeah, it's absolutely amazing. I don't know why anybody would do that, and there's a lot more to it, but I've spoken up, and they're basically giving non-answers, so we're going to have to go into much more detail, and I'm going to go after it and make sure, because not everybody is going to speak up, and I think it's fantastic when somebody does, because it can be
Yeah,
a lot of stress. Even this added to my illness greatly. Instead of just
yeah,
being sick, now you've got somebody giving you crap for absolutely no reason other than being
yeah.
a nasty person.
Um,
WrestleMania says, "Mama Styles, my fault. Normally I make women forget what they're saying." Oh, gee, you crack me up, Miss Coco. Hold on.
um, but yeah, as we were talking about the excuses that the hospital make, well, the nurse told me that after I had my son, well, we're just not equipped to handle an emergency if something was to happen during the vaginal birth after cesarean. I had to call bullcrap on that because if you were able to roll me out to the operating room to have an emergency cesarean with my son Leo, and I wasn't even in labor yet. You guys could do that if I'm trying to attempt to do a feedback. I didn't say that to her, but I should have.
I mean, that does bring question to it.
Yeah,
Um,
it's just an excuse to actually keep them from actually saying their true what truly happens there. And
yeah, well, there's a lot of red tape, and some of them, unfortunately, it's not up to the individual nurse or whatnot. They're told you have to say this if you want to keep your job, and there's a lot of baloney bureaucracy to it. I'm
yeah,
glad that there is this show that's coming through. Like I said, every time I do a live stream, I learn something. So I have missed it for a week, but that's really fantastic that he's going to go and do that. Had I become a surgeon like I had intended, I would be doing the same thing, because I'm not very good at putting up with bullshit.
yeah,
Um, I like to call it out. But hopefully, that would be interesting. I think the more that you talk about it on your channel and you have your platform to talk about it, the more it makes people aware that it is something that is a serious choice for any woman, because that is
Yeah,
literally forcing a woman who might be able to have a vaginal birth into major surgery. And like I'm not saying every woman who's had a cesarean should have a vaginal birth afterwards. It's individual, and obviously their individual medical records and what condition they're in if they can do this. But automatically stating, nope, we won't touch it. Even though we could handle it, but we can't handle it because of the red tape. Hey, I totally understand that and would support that. So I commend you for going ahead with that on your channel. I think that's
yeah.
fantastic.
See, the thing is, when she gave me that excuse, I was thinking to myself, bullcrap, why are we saying that you're not equipped? There are 3 hospitals up here in the desert. The desert is not a small little town anymore. I would understand the red tape more if we were a small itty bitty town that did not have the funds and stuff to deal with the aftermath of an emergency cesarean because of a feedback that went wrong. But if you look up the high desert, I'm pretty sure we have quite a bit of people up here now compared to what it used to be years and years ago in the 80s and older. It's, you know,
Yeah. Well, Alien 6467, he said, I hear that some hospitals are just impatient and want to get the birth over with and choose the C-section. It's entirely possible. I have heard about,
unethical.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Unethical, definitely, but definitely possible to get them in, get it out, get it over, and move them on. I mean, I know at one point, they have since changed it, but I know at one point they were cranking women through hospitals, and their stay even afterwards that they were giving them, and they've since changed it. But I know at one point for a vaginal birth they were giving women 24 hours and then moving them out, just like, let's do the baby factory, let's go. It's like, holy cow, can they recover just for a second? I mean, it literally is the farthest you can stretch the human body without dying is to give birth. I mean, you
Yeah.
literally have pushed the body to all physical limits. And even in the medical books, as a student, it says, this is the furthest you can push the body without dying. Gator Bite, hey, what's up? She says she can't stay for long. She's dropping in to say hello to me and my wonderful guest, Mama Styles. And oh, thank you. This is actually the new Juvia's Place Freak palette. It just arrived at my house today. So I quickly popped it on my face right before the show. As I was about to get ready for the show, literally it got brought into my studio. So I will do a video on it soon. I've got a stack of palettes and all kinds of stuff. I'm behind, and a whole bunch of things to edit too. Alien 6467, he says he kind of knows how they pushed aside breastfeeding a couple generations ago. Yeah, and now what they're doing with breastfeeding is they are really forcing women towards it. If you don't breastfeed, you're terrible. If you're not, it gets ridiculous. How they're pushing women towards things that are personal choices that really shouldn't be things that they're shoving at them.
Well,
But
just like how some people shove formula towards moms that don't really want a formula feed.
well, yeah, it's a choice, and
Like,
if
and it's also where they also sometimes like, oh, you should stop breastfeeding at this certain amount of time. I don't follow by the American standards. I follow by the World Health Organization standards that say that they recommend moms should breastfeed until the age 2 and beyond. Age 2, and then it's up to the mom and the child. And then there's like a certain amount of there's a natural. weaning age, which sometimes is like between 3 and 7. I'm not going towards the age of 7. No, thank you. Nope.
Yeah, I think
But
it's really an individual thing. Some women don't even produce. Some women I've seen produce milk for 3 weeks. Some women produce for much longer. It's an individual thing, an individual choice. Some women choose not to breastfeed at all, and I mean there are benefits to it. Honestly, if they get
yeah,
it in for a couple weeks, they've gotten the benefits.
yeah.
If they can do it longer, that's fantastic. But the amount that people have gotten into people's lives and are trying to make decisions for them on things that are personal choices, and
That mom shaming thing. Ugh.
yes, there's for many who don't know, and I was talking to Mama Styles about it. There's some mothers who don't, but there are mothers out there, and I've seen friends and family and whatnot where there's almost this competition of um, certain mothers trying to shame other mothers. Oh, I'm better than this, or I'm better than you than that, and you're not good enough with this. And I don't know, you could probably tell it better than I can, Mama Styles.
Well, if you ever think about that commercial that was going around, uh, with the moms that were breastfeeding covered, and then there was the moms that have bottles, and then uh, cloth diapers and regular diapers. They were just going back and forth shaming each other. But there was an agenda behind the video too. I forgot what the agenda was, but it was something in there.
Was it on YouTube? I didn't. I probably wasn't on yet.
No, it was. I've seen it on Facebook and I've seen it on uh, Netflix and Hulu. It pops up.
Oh,
You
okay.
know, the commercials. Well, not on Netflix, but Hulu. Yes, because I have Hulu and I've seen that commercial.
Oh, I haven't seen it, but I have heard people go back and forth and seen it at the playground and heard my friends and stuff like that where there's always one side deciding that the other side is not doing it right.
Yeah.
And hey, Michelle, how are you? Thank you for stopping in. Wonderful to see you. It's really unfortunate. It would be nice if moms could stick together and support each other, even if they don't
Yeah.
necessarily make the same choices. It
As
is good.
long as long as there is no abuse towards the child, like
Of course.
harmful abuse, then we should, just let each other parent as we are, not as long as it's not harmful.
Absolutely. No, I agree with that 100%. In fact, a lot of people jump in places where they don't even necessarily know the child. And like you
Yeah.
said, as long as it's not harmful, nobody knows your child like yourself. And as long as you are taking, adequate care, well, more than adequate care of your child, very well. Thank you. Thank you, Michelle, for asking. But people do get into the most asinine stuff that it's incredible, but I have seen it amongst people. But an interesting thing that a lot of you may not know about Mama Styles is she is a huge history buff. Hey, Broke
Uh,
Neck! Good to see you. One second. Hello from Alaska. Aloha from Alaska. I know my Alaska friend. I have not seen you in a while. So happy to see you. I myself am back after being sick. I've never been gone for weeks. So awesome. Go ahead, Mama Styles. I'm sorry.
my main thing is I love ancient history. It's more ancient history than anything. I just find the more, I want to say, up towards medieval history and beyond to be more boring. I think it's just like the ancient history, it's where it's at. Like
Oh,
it's where it's at, it's more interesting, especially the fact that it's on my bucket list before I ever die. You know, I would like to go see Pompeii. I would like to see the people
yes.
that are frozen in time because of what Mount Vesuvius did. Like, and as you and I were discussing a while back that I have an obsession with volcanoes, and I told you that I had volcano
Yes.
ashes and stuff, and
Yeah,
um,
we actually found out that we both have ashes from Mount St. Helens. My grandmother, my mother's side of the family lives in Washington State, and my grandmother sent them to me. And just as I was about to say that, Mama Styles pulled out her ashes from Mount St. Helens, which is this is one of the reasons I love doing this show. It's like the damnedest things come out when you're talking to somebody, especially in the pre-interview. And I was about to say I have, and she's like, "Look at my ashes from Mount St. Helens." I went, "Holy crap, I have those too!" So
I
it's
mean, I would have the hubby get up and go get my ashes, but I don't feel like having to tell him where it is at and make me feel like I have to get up and go find them myself.
Brokeneck says that would be a fantastic experience. Yeah, I have to agree. I have been fascinated with Pompeii, and this was another thing that was fascinating when Mama Styles brought it up in the pre-interview. My dad has been telling me about Pompeii since I was a little girl, and I love history. This is one of the reasons that I ended up in a house from the 1930s, which obviously is not ancient. Although I'm not going to do it again. I just like older things because I like central air too, and not so much central air in a house from the 1930s. But I digress. I love things that have history. Like even my vanity that I sit at is a massive maple antique vanity slash dresser. It's a huge piece of furniture, and I don't know. I just like the idea of something that's been around through time. I think it's really neat, and the older the better. I have to agree with you.
Yeah. Did you know that actually Mount St. Helens did practically the same thing that Mount Vesuvius did? It did a pyroclastic surge. And for those that don't know what a pyroclastic surge is, it is basically a huge plume of ash that is just coming down at over 100 miles per an hour, if not more. Supposedly might be faster than the fastest car around. But when it comes down, it is made of hot ash and some rocks and whatever that's in there, and it cooks you alive instantly.
Wow, that's
And that's
incredible.
that's why you are actually frozen in place when it happens.
Well, that's all those people from Mount Vesuvius, and wow, that's and they are. You see them just kind of like frozen and literally, yeah, cooked in place. That's because they're not vaporized. Because vaporized, it takes all the water out, and you just kind of fall on the ground. You don't have any substance left.
Yeah.
But that is absolutely amazing about that. I did not know exactly what it was called. And once again, another reason why I love this show because I get to learn things from my guests all the time. Um,
Yeah.
because Mama Styles was explaining to me the difference between the surge and the regular lava flow, which that I do know is really slow.
I find
lava,
the pyroclastic surge more exciting than the regular lava flow. The regular lava flow is like, it's so boring.
yeah, it's. I don't think people realize quite how slow lava goes. I mean, it's gonna eat anything in the path. It's hotter than I'll get out, but it is slow,
It's
really
still,
slow.
it still does a lot of damage, but
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just it's slow.
It's not the same excitement factor. Although I think anybody's going, well, crap, if you have any either coming towards your house, you're not going to be excited about it. Well, no, probably not. But then again, I
No.
also don't live near a volcano. Although I've lived near plenty of earthquakes and other things and stuff like that. It did occur to me, because we've had an earthquake here, but um, from people who aren't from California, which I originally am, we do have earthquakes on the East Coast, but in California, you have earthquake drills in school. So it's interesting to see. I don't know. We had what was it, tornado drills in Illinois. I wonder if near volcanoes you have volcano drills. I don't even know what you would do for that. I'm not sure.
Honestly, honestly, I think having like certain regions, like California, having earthquake drills, some areas having tornado drills, or whichever, I think it's kind of stupid to do it by region because any region is capable of having an earthquake. Any region is capable of having anything of a natural disaster. Does it happen often? No. But any area, as long as an area has fault lines, it is capable of having an earthquake.
This
So
is
any
true.
area should have an earthquake drill, no matter where you are. Like if you're in New York, you should have an earthquake drill. You
Well,
don't know what's gonna happen.
well, that's true. We do actually get earthquakes here. The last one that we had that was sizable, I was taking a nap and I woke up and the entire room was shaking. And the funniest thing, I'm so used to mid-level earthquakes because of California. As I woke up, looked around, and went, "Oh, it's not that big," and rolled over and went back to sleep. But for people who aren't used to it, Windy City Steve, he says, "Well, ladies in chat, I got to go. Have a great night and start my stream up soon." Well, thank you so much, Windy City Steve. We are thrilled to have you with us. It's great to be back. We're going to continue our discussion. But yeah, that's other than Pompeii and Mount Vesuvius, what are the other ancient history places that you enjoy?
This is gonna go into my religion part.
Sure, go for it.
I enjoy reading about ancient Egyptian when I get a chance to. I also am fascinated with Cleopatra, hence the name Tigress Cleopatra came to birth. And the reason why it was Tigress Cleopatra because in the Chinese zodiac, I am the year of the tiger, and
My favorite
Cleopatra,
animal.
yeah,
I love tigers. Go ahead, please.
and Cleopatra was because I was fascinated with her. And for most people who do not know, Cleopatra is not Egyptian. She is Greek.
Interesting. No, I had not heard that.
And she is actually related to Alexander the Great. And I know most people are like, how did you, some people are like, how did you find your religion? I could tell you easily, I did not find Kemetic yet, but I think that my goddess, Isis, I found her through history, reading about her, and because of
Yes.
Cleopatra, and how they kind of revered Cleopatra like Isis.
Yes, yes, very true. For a lot of people who don't realize, Kemetic is one of the many, 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 many different traditions of paganism. Under the pagan umbrella, there are so many different traditions, I could not even begin to name them. A lot
Yeah.
of people think of Wiccan first, and that's actually the newest, being
Yeah.
maybe about 60, 70 years old. It's inevitably pretty much the baby of pagans,
Yeah.
pagan religions, and
Yeah.
the one that people know the best, but it's also the only one, well, not the only one, but people a lot of the time think of pagans and magic and whatnot. Wiccans, if you're a Wiccan, you also practice, it's an orthopraxic religion, meaning that part of the practice is part of the religion is the practice of particularly witchcraft. Not all pagan religions necessarily perform or practice magic of any form, whether it be ceremonial, high magic, low magic, whatever. In fact, a lot
Um,
of people call voodoo pagan. That's not true. Most of them follow are Catholics, but some do, some
I
don't.
Yeah. I think we have a question in the chat. ASMR Ross says Cleopatra married Mark Antony, right? Or he was one of the men she slept with. Am I wrong? Um, I think she married Julius Caesar originally. I'm not sure if she married Mark Anthony, but I think she did, right?
To be perfectly honest, I probably should know this, and I do not remember offhand. I can
Like,
find out really fast.
we don't remember at the top of our heads,
Yeah,
but
we
I
don't
think we
remember,
can
but
look it up.
we'll be honest with you and tell you if we don't know something.
Yeah.
I'm all about that. You should never be afraid if you don't know something to look it up. It's cool. Let's see. All right, here we go. Come on.
But
Oh,
the
what? Is
whole
my phone have stage fright?
but the whole Mark Anthony situation when she thought um I think it was he committed suicide because she thought he was killed. Oh no, wait, I'm getting it mixed up. He committed suicide because she he thought that she died when it was just like a really backwards thing that the Romans did back then was made each other think that they were both dead, and that's why they ended up.
So like a Romeo and Juliet type scenario.
Yes.
It does say yes. Actually, they were married. It says October 40th BC through August 1st, 30 BC. They were married. So yeah, they were married. I should know that, but I'll admit it. I'm not always good at history. I love it, but that's one thing that if you ask me specific and dates, I don't always know it, but I know I can always look it up. So ASMR
Yes.
Ross, you are absolutely correct. Yeah, WrestleMania says Cleopatra was married 4 times.
Okay. So it's Mark Anthony the fourth person?
I don't know. Let's look it up. All right, let's see. WrestleMania. Do you know the 4 husbands of Cleopatra? Otherwise, I'm gonna
I
have to
can't.
look it up.
I know the first one was her brother, which ew, by the way.
I know that was one of the first things that was coming up when I was looking up if she married Mark Anthony. Like I said, I should know this, but I love AMSRS is yay. At least I remember something from history class. Yeah, believe it or not, history was my worst subject, even though I love history. But yeah, also my worst subject too. I admit. My family teases me for it. So let's see. Hold on a second. Cleopatra's 4 husbands. Okay. Who did Cleopatra marry? Here we go. Let's see. WrestleMania says I forget the first 2, but the third was Caesar, the fourth was Mark. Um,
Those are the two most popular ones.
yeah, the first 2, Ptolemy, let's see, that would be 13, XIII. Yeah, that's 13. Drowned in 47 BC, and then the same one, same name, but he was XIV, which would be 14. He allegedly was poisoned in 44 BC. So the first 2 did not bode well. They weren't around that long, and apparently, if you're going to go with that name, it's not the way to go with Cleopatra, because and then, of course, Caesar was assassinated in Rome in 44 BC, and Mark Antony committed, as we talked about, suicide following a crucial defeat from Octavian in 31 BC. Huh, interesting. And then it goes to give all the history and everything else like that to it, but which I'm going to have to reread. Not right now on air, though. I don't think you guys want to watch me sit here and read. Although you never know. I've seen some very interesting areas of YouTube and people watching people do things that I would have never believed people would want to watch people do. So maybe there is a corner of YouTube where people enjoy watching people read, but I haven't found it yet. So, but
Okay,
no, that's
there's a damn fly in here.
oh god, that drives me nuts. We had a
Like,
fly in the
oh,
bathroom. other day, and it was driving me nuts.
My husband went on a killing spree with the flies. He like killed 15 flies. So it's like a great fly massacre in this apartment.
Oh my goodness. What was it? ASMR Ross, he says, Cleo was quite the harlot. Why was she a harlot? Why would you call her a harlot, ASMR Ross? Because she was married 4 times? Um, let's see. ASMR is where people enjoy listening to people read. You know what, ASMR Ross? I've never actually listened. I've heard people speak quietly. I have not heard ASMR where people are reading, but perhaps that is part of ASMR that I don't know. I usually hear things like people whispering like moccasin, popcorn, and then scratching the mic, but I by far am not an expert about ASMR. So
Um,
is that where people read quietly? I don't know. Go ahead. Please, as there's much more to talk about ancient Egypt and Cleopatra and
uh,
Isis, as Isis is actually quite popular in for people to worship in Kemetic religion.
and the husband's about to go on another killing spree again.
WrestleMania says my oldest is a history buff. A couple things got caught in this old brain. That's awesome. I see WrestleMania. I love history, but
Okay.
oh
But
my,
he's over here killing the flies right now.
better dead than alive. That's all I have to say. Better dead than alive.
Oh,
WrestleMania. That's awesome.
he was asking me a question earlier. Oh, he was actually no, he was just saying it out loud. What is the purpose of flies? And so I looked it up, and I was like, okay. Apparently, the fly's purpose is um, for pollination and also for flies also help with dead carcasses.
Oh, absolutely. They do help break down dead carcasses because they lay eggs and then their larvae, the maggots, eat the dead carcass and it helps degrade it amongst other parasitic animals dropping things into it and vultures and whatnot. But yeah, actually, yeah, flies do have their place just as long as they're not in my damn house. But that's really cool. So I actually do have my fly swatter somewhere around here. I keep it. I don't usually have flies. I get a moth every so often. Anyway, yes, WrestleMania flies are one of nature's cleaners. This is true.
Yeah.
As long as they don't land on my food or land near my stuff, that's fantastic. So maybe you might tell them a little bit about ISIS and Kemeticism.
Um, well, there's not a whole lot I can say about it myself because I'm kind of non-practicing right now.
Mm-hmm.
And also, it has been a while since I have opened up a book, and I don't know a whole lot about it. I don't want to spread misinformation.
Oh, understand. Why don't you just whatever drew you to it and why you enjoy following it? Because
Say
this
that
is
again.
I said on this show we have You Stories is religiously neutral. We enjoy all religions, and I
Yeah.
said perhaps why you were interested in it and how you got interested in following it.
Well, I didn't know that comedicism existed until I met a friend of mine, and he's actually my mentor. Haven't talked in a long while, but um, now now I'm supposed to be teaching myself, and I'm supposed to be like self learning about it. Um, but I haven't done it in a long while. That's why I say I'm non-practicing right now.
Right.
I need to be able to start to have my rituals again and start researching it and everything.
Um,
The
Perhaps
killing spree back
yeah, yeah,
here.
it's hysterical. Maybe you explain a little bit about ISIS to them. Because it's a bit different for people that don't know anything about it. Just it doesn't have to be in depth.
Um, she is mostly a goddess of fertility. She's got a few other things that are on her. I don't remember what the other ones are, but I can go into Google. Um,
Well, what do you enjoy about it? It doesn't have to be strictly, facts and figures. What do you enjoy about it?
well, I enjoy when I do the ritualing. I start to feel a little light. I think it's the E word, euphoric. I can't pronounce that very well. Um, or euphoric or
Oh,
enlightened, whatever you want to. Huh?
euphoric or enlightened, right? Yeah, you're saying
Yes.
it fine.
Um, I start feeling like that when I'm doing my ritualing and doing all that stuff, and I start meditating. That's when I start getting those feelings. It's almost like you're levitating, but you're not.
That's really cool. So, a very feeling of lightness, and I enjoy
Yeah.
meditating myself. So, and that's a practice in many, many religions, especially Eastern
Yeah.
religions, and well, just about any non-Western religion.
Yeah.
It's very popular. I started learning at 3 from my father, actually, to control hiccups. But it was part of his spiritualism, and I do moving meditation through swimming. So as soon as I get back in that pool, hopefully next week, um, I go into a phase, and it's really nice. I'll be actually getting a watch to finally count my lengths, because I completely zone out and have no idea how far I swim. I just go
Yeah.
into a totally different phase of moving meditation. And a lot of people don't realize that you can do moving meditation, and people can start off with labyrinths. And if anyone is interested, all you have to do is type in Labyrinth Finder, and they'll pop up in your area by zip code, and you can actually go and walk the labyrinths repeatedly, and it can get you started in moving meditation, which is something interesting. Wrestler Mania says we call our flies at work Steve. We hate Steve. Some of Steve's ancestors are more aggressive than others. When that happens, I look at Mr. Mama Styles in the office area. He says, I completely understand why he's doing it. Mama says, ASMR is not just sound, but it's visual. Michelle says, I do 50 freestyle and 25 backstroke for swimming. Oh, that's fun. Yeah, I don't count. I do several miles when I do swim, but I tend to lose track. That's why they're finally getting me a watch to count everything. Because I just zone, and I'll keep going and going and going. And when we've been at the outdoor pool, people are like, "Wow, you've been going back and forth for 2 hours. Holy
Yeah.
crap, you're still going." And I'm going, "Yes, swimming, I'm fine. I can
Yeah.
swim." But Kimberly, she says, "Oh, Kimberly Harrod is starting swimming next week. Woohoo! Awesome!" And no, Michelle, I did not forget that you're an athlete. That is fantastic, Kimberly. Where are you going to get to start swimming? That is great. Absolutely fantastic. Um, so do you enjoy swimming, Mama Styles?
Um, I used to. I'm not much of a swimmer anymore because I don't like having to take my hearing aid out.
That makes sense. Yeah, Kimberly says she's doing this part of her weight loss. That is a fantastic way to exercise to lose weight, because there's hello, I know all about this because of my arthritis. There's zero, I don't want to say resistance, impact. Hello. It's zero impact exercise, something I should know a lot about because of my joints. Good Lord. Wrestler Mania says ASMR fly swatting with visuals, a new viral video I call it dips. That is all you, man. You take it, because I have a feeling if I try to make ASMR, there's something weird is going to come out, and I
Okay,
don't know that I
well,
would be good at it.
before we think that ASMR is weird, Um, I find the ASMR sound stuff weird. The whispering and all that stuff, I find that weird. But another form of ASMR is also visual, being able to see what somebody's doing. Like if somebody is brushing somebody else's hair, you kind of get that hair raising feeling and feeling like somebody else is brushing your hair. Or the same thing that I like watching somebody else do somebody else's makeup, and it makes me feel like my makeup's getting done, even though it's not
Oh,
that
really?
case.
I did not know about visual ASMR. Like I said, I don't know much about it, and me trying to make an
Yeah.
ASMR video would
Well,
be a
well,
mess.
when you hear ASMR, you think sounds, the stupid whispering, the scratching of whatever,
The one
and
thing I can't do is when I discovered ASMR eating. That one I almost lost my crap over because this woman had a giant bowl. I did not know what it was. It was a
Trish
giant bowl.
Payetta is something her up her alley.
Oh, I've heard of her, and I realize that I'm probably saying her name wrong, but I'd never heard of her. In fact, I didn't even know there was such a thing as mukbangs, eating, all this kind of stuff. And I happened to be watching TV, and of all the things that were on, it was the Beverly Hills Housewives. And one of the wives, their daughters watched Trisha eating, and I didn't know they were eating videos. This was not long before I started watching.
Mukbangs.
Yeah, and
Mukbangs
that's
or
how I looked
mukbang.
into. Yeah, and it came from South Korea because I know the two words, and one of them means to eat, and the other one means I guess a lot. I don't know, I don't remember, but they have
Yeah.
meaning which transferred over here, and it's funny because I've seen people do them. They're like, "Oh, those words mean something." I'm like, "Yeah, you do them."
Yeah.
But the
Oh,
ASMR eating, the one that got me is I went, okay, I don't understand people wanting to watch people eat, but
okay.
all
My
right.
husband is tickling me right now. He's being evil.
Oh my goodness. That's so cute though. Oh, Ammo, what is a mukbang? Oh, and Miss Kathy is here.
Uh,
Awesome.
Emma Mukbang is an eating show. Basically, they're coming on and they're eating in front of you, and it originated in Korea.
Yeah, South Korea.
Right.
Hold on one second. Miss Kathy, I really can't stay, but I had to come on and show support and say I miss the lady and wish her well. Also, hello to Mama Styles. I'll watch the replay when I can. Miss Kathy, I hope you are feeling better. I'm thrilled to be back. I've been gone for a week. I should be on regularly from now. And thank you so much for stopping by. And thank you and to everybody watching the replay, thank you so much. I absolutely appreciate it. And I thank everyone. I disappeared for a week and everybody's still sticking around. So that's really awesome. Let's
He's
see.
over
Rest.
here tickling me.
Oh my goodness, that's cute though. WrestleMania, I do not call ASMR weird, but I do have to admit that I just don't get it. I agree, Jamie. That's okay. We don't have to like everything. I've seen a few of them. Some still have a lot of production value. Still don't get it though. Gave it a few shots. WrestleMania, I'm with you. I don't understand watching people eating, but I guess if people, I would have never guessed it. Like I would have never guessed sitting down and eating, but I guess people like it. But the ASMR
Go
eating
Jace hair.
got
Go
me
Jace hair. Come on, let go Jace.
because I didn't have headphones on, and this it just
Yeah.
said ASMR eating, and I said, okay, what is that? And the curious cat here had to go check things out, and sure enough, this girl comes on the screen. She's got a giant bowl of cheesy fettuccine and a bunch of shrimp and a lot of slippery, really wet things. And God, I wish I had headphones on that day. I really do. Because
Yeah.
all of a sudden she starts stirring it up and then eating as loud as humanly possible, smacking her
That
lips.
just sounds so gross.
It was so foul. I like I said, I wish I had headphones on because I would have just ripped them off my head. But I couldn't, so I'm hitting the volume button and I can't get it to go down fast enough. It's stuck. And I'm sitting there and I couldn't get it to stop. And I was basically about to rip my own ears off. I was like, la, 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 make it stop, make it stop, make it stop. It's honestly up there in one of the top 5 most horrible things I've heard in my life. I'm sorry if people like ASMR eating. More power to you. I can't. I cannot. Eating
Actually, I
noises
would not be able to
freaks me
stand it.
out.
I would
I can't.
prefer.
Oh
I would
God, it was
prefer.
awful.
I would prefer the visual ASMR, somebody else doing somebody's makeup, brushing the hair, and if there's sounds behind it, the whispering and stuff, I just mute it. It's like it's like the whispering and stuff for me. It does nothing for me. I'm hard of hearing. What's it going to do? You
That's a
know?
good point. That's true. That's not going to do much for me. From what I understand, because I read up on it after I saw it, and they said it's supposed to make your head tingle. So a few of the whispering ones, I'm like, all right, let's see if it makes my head tingle. Apparently, ASMR doesn't do much for me, but those ones don't like. It's not so bad. The eating though, I remember it was just before I pre-interviewed Neil for when they eventually Halos and Heathens eventually comes on U Stories, and
Yeah.
apparently Neil has a thing about, especially if you can hear somebody making like spit noises near their microphone when they're talking, and you get that
Yeah.
clicking noise. And I can't stand that either. So I had just discovered it. And of course, I have to tell somebody. I can't just keep my mouth shut. I've got to share the gross thing. And I was like, Neil, oh my gosh. Because apparently, at that point, they've been on YouTube for 10 months. And I think I've
Yeah.
been on for like maybe 3. And I was like, oh my God, you don't know what I just found. And I told him, and the two of us are sitting there freaking out on video call, just like going into like twitches and God knows what. It was just horrible. I don't understand. Wrestler Mania says the best ASMR. Yeah, Ammo, it was really gross. I'm sorry. If somebody likes it, like I said, more power to you. I don't think anything different of you, but I can't. WrestleMania says the best ASMR I saw was a lady whispering chocolate to a wigged. Oh, wait, I gotta read this. What the hell? The best ASMR I saw was a lady whispering chocolate to a wigged microphone. Wonderful lighting, great audio, but still didn't. A wigged microphone? Like, really? Not just like a dead cat on it? Like, literally a microphone with a wig on it, and she was whispering chocolate? So, if I just like make up weird crap and record it, people are going to want to watch it. I don't want to offend anyone, but I kind of want to try to make like just like bizarre crap and see if people watch it. Um, oh, earlier Mr. Leo was pulling on Daddy's hair and trying to make him tickle me. I think that's adorable, though, that your husband's tickling you and whatnot. That's very sweet and that's very cute. I love to see people that are affectionate and stuff like that. It's really
Yeah.
cool. But Ammo is laughing. I can't get over this. A lady whispering chocolate to a wigged microphone. Okay, Jamie, that is a sentence I never thought I would say in my life. But I'm gonna have to. You're gonna have to come back and put the. Oh, by the way, I always forget to say everything, and my normal moderators aren't here. In fact, I have not seen Angel in a bit. I hope people have seen Angel because I've been sick and I haven't seen her. So I hope she is around and well. I looked at her thing and I hadn't seen her. But anyway, Lord, I didn't see her last week either. That's odd. Wow, the microphone actually had a blonde wig, as in hair on it. Wow. What I kind of want to do that now and just see what happens. So if I put out a video, you guys, and it's a little strange, just for I don't know research purposes, don't judge me. Now I want to see like what can I do? Can I take Ducky here and I don't know, talk to Ducky? I don't know. I think you guys might think you won't believe me. You won't take it with any seriousness, so you'll know it's just Lady Borgia
Yeah, we
being
probably
weird.
end up thinking, did Lady Borgia just fall off the deep end or something? What the heck happened?
I don't know because I have so much weird crap in here because of my special effects stuff. You have no idea what I could talk to. I mean, I could really make some. I'm looking around and I'm like, oh, and of course there's a bug right there. I mean, I've got
Okay,
masks and like, oh, like that. Oh, I can't reach it. I mean, I could put on masquerade mess and like talk to my flower pot and I don't know. It could get very
okay.
strange in here just with the things that I can reach. So I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't do that.
Speaking of learning new things every day, um, what could end up happening is like I was thinking that when I was on my break, I was thinking about doing the whole recording a video of me being in the straight jacket and with two people at my side, you know, labeled numbers, that I'm like tugging back and forth because it was an analogy. The numbers were driving me crazy.
Uh-huh.
Um, it's kind of weird that I would come up with that because once upon a time, while I was in high school, I took 2 years of drama.
Oh, cool. I love drama. That's so much fun.
But I'm probably not gonna act on the whole numbers analogy, but that would have been my thing about the whole YouTube numbers and the number race and everything, and that's why I decided, I'm just gonna focus on having fun and the numbers last. And
Yeah.
if I don't like what I see on the numbers, don't let it bother me.
No, I
You
mean,
know.
really, as long as you're doing what you like to do, um, I mean, people go in and out, and that's why I mean, I just kind of went with it and have always done what I enjoy doing. And in the beginning, I started out with a little bit more difficult stuff with a little bit more color, and then I wasn't sure and went back and forth. And I'm going to start bringing that back in because I wasn't sure, is that too much? Well, it was right at the beginning, so I wasn't sure what was going on. And I miss doing some of that, so I went, well, you need to add it back in if you miss doing it.
Yeah.
I also realized that there has to be a certain amount of time that I'm not filming,
Yeah.
because I need a certain amount of time that I'm just painting and playing and doing whatever without a camera in my face, or remembering, oh, I need to hit
Yeah.
stop, or I need to be at an angle that's camera friendly,
Yeah.
because especially
Like,
with special effects and makeup, you got to make sure they can see. And there just needs to be a certain amount of time that it doesn't matter where the damn camera is.
yeah. And so the thing is, um, we shouldn't care what people like, or we're filming. If you don't like a certain thing, you don't have to watch that video. If you're subscribed to him or her for their other content, just skip this video and watch the other videos that I make. And that's another thing. There's a bigger YouTuber that I watch, named Thrift. She
Mm-hmm.
was doing mukbangs on her channel, and now she had to make a whole separate channel for it because people were being buttholes about it, and she let it get to her.
See, this is the one thing I don't understand, and it's maybe I think about YouTube differently. Is excuse me, I'm the thirstiest person on earth. I tend to think of my channel as like a television network, whereas like a TV network like NBC or Bravo or whatnot, they have multiple different shows on the television, on the TV channel,
Yeah,
and it's not just one thing. So to me, a channel is, you have a basic idea, a certain brand,
yeah,
and everything that falls under it falls under that brand, but it's multiple different things. And that's why I always planned with my channel to not only do the makeup, beauty, special effects, and fantasy makeup, and to do the health, wellness, and lifestyle channel,
yeah,
not channel, but information sessions, lives. Well, I didn't know about lives, but I was going to do those instead of a blog. I decided to do them. I was going to do them as a vlog, which, yes, I have tons to film. I know.
yeah,
Actually, I've got 6 videos I've got to edit anyway. But the point being is, I always thought of doing both of those on my channel, that I'd have the science side and the art
yeah,
side. And then when I accidentally fell into live streams right after I started, I went, okay, well, cool. I have one show. You Stories popped up right after that, and nobody was doing interviews or anything like them. And that came later, but I just never thought of having to do a new channel for each different subject. You know what
you
I'm
know,
saying?
it's like,
I mean, that's a lot
why
of work.
shut? like, why judge somebody and say, oh, I thought you were only a beauty channel? No, I do multiple things. It even says in my description on my channel,
Right.
I'm mom vlogs, I'm cooking, and I'm makeup. But makeup is like the top part, you know. It's
Exactly.
like,
No,
and
that makes perfect sense to me.
and that's why, Thrift Dick should have put that in her description box. But her Thrift Dick, it says, it's like beauty and, thrifty stuff. But evolution happens. We evolve over time as a person, and our channel's going to evolve to
Well, that's
adapt,
yeah. Please go
to
ahead.
what we are.
That makes perfect sense to me because, like I said, I did not expect. I think I'd seen two or three live streams on Instagram and very like short little pieces of them. And one of them I saw there was two people on. It was the middle of the night. I clicked onto it and they were busy doing special effects makeup. And in fact, they barely even looked up and said hello to me. And then just went back to what they were doing. And I'm like, okay, this is really weird. I feel like I shouldn't even be watching this. So, and I had one other live stream that she was an artist that I used to watch. She painted, she reproduced paintings on her eyelid, which,
Yeah,
okay, that's cool. She was pretty good at it. Except the only thing was, is her live stream, she got into a conversation with just one girl and kind of forgot the rest of the people. So it got boring.
yeah.
And that was it for my live streaming experience. I'd never done it on Facebook. I'd never even seen it on Facebook. I go on there very rarely. And I had no idea that I would like this or like doing live productions. I mean, Use Stories took a month of pre-production before it came on. There's a
Okay,
lot of behind the
Sir
scenes work.
Sir Leonardo is pulling on my hair right now, being Sir Naughty Pants,
Leo, what are
and
you
he's laughing
doing?
about it too right now. He thinks it's funny. It's not.
Mr. Leo, you be good to your mama. He's such a handsome little guy. I adore him, but don't pull your mama's hair, sweetheart.
Yeah, he's like seriously pulling on my hair.
Oh my, yeah, that is not fun. But I don't understand why. I don't know if anybody else in the chat or whatnot, if you stick to one topic or it's multiple, but I don't know. It just seemed to me that it was just a natural occurrence to branch into multiple subjects. And I figured if I put them in different playlists, you could go and by playlist decide what you wanted to
Yeah,
watch. But I guess
yeah,
that's not exactly how everybody thinks of it. And I'm kind of curious how
yeah.
it turned out that way. Why it has to be one subject per channel. I mean, God,
Well,
that would be a lot of channels to run for me.
well, speaking of evolving as a person, when I first started my channel out, I had a potty mouth. But as soon as I became a mother, that got tamed down.
Well,
So if you
yeah,
go watch a lot of my videos for the first 2 years that I was doing YouTube, well, between the time of I started 2014, got pregnant around May 2015, I was cursing a lot in my earlier videos.
mm-hmm.
And as soon as I had Leo, it tamed down. I dropped the F bomb, the S word a lot. I don't know what it was. And I think I was just like I was trying to be a certain type of channel that I wasn't back then.
Right,
Um,
right.
like there were certain channels that cursed a lot. I was watching a certain person. I forgot the name of their channel. Okay, it's she's from Australia. Her name is Brittany. I was watching her a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy, she curses a lot. And I kind of,
I
you
don't think I've
know,
seen her, but there's so many people on YouTube that God
yeah,
knows. I'm sure many people. I'm probably the only person who has no idea what Shane Dawson looks like because somebody said it to me the other day, and I went, I don't know what he looks like. I have no
yeah,
idea. But
yeah.
no, go ahead, please.
Mr. Leo wants out of his high chair. That's why he keeps trying to pull on me and pull my hair.
Ah, well, Mr. Leo doesn't have that much longer because we are coming up on the 2 hour mark, and I know he's been fairly patient.
Yeah,
So I will. let you start going soon. If anybody has any questions before we let Mama Styles go, oh, Wrestler Mania says I have become more logical and focused with my channel with the different content I have. I found my gardening and travel videos are watched in the spring and summer. And that's
Yeah.
interesting. And he says in fall and winter, my autism and unboxing videos are watched more. I accidentally seem to have found the right balance for my channel. It may not work for other content types though. It seems to work all right for me doing the lives and then doing the health and the makeup.
Yeah.
I have a lot more coming for the makeup because a lot of the really colorful out there stuff and stuff that you'll see more on my Instagram and stuff I don't even put on my Instagram that it gets, pretty out
Yeah.
there. I'm going to start bringing in because people are like, why don't you put that up and do tutorials for it? But
Yeah.
I see what you mean, though, Wrestler Mania, and I can see how different things are more popular at different times of year. I mean, I've only
Yeah.
been in this 5 months, so I am learning. But
Yeah.
we're going to start wrapping it
It's-
up because Mama Styles has been wonderful. She's been here for 2 hours, and Mr. Leo is getting fussy, and
Yeah,
he
Mr.
is.
Leo behind me. He got in trouble earlier, and that's why he's in his high chair because he was picking on the dog that's in my lap currently. Like he was trying to pull on her. And speaking of disabilities, this
Oh,
dog is technically disabled.
hi, sweet pea. Oh,
She was born with a deformed paw. She's not wanting me to show that.
oh, you're beautiful, honey.
And also, in our old complex that we were living in, she was our friend's. She's our friend's dog, but they were living in another apartment next door to us on the same complex. The guy that was living with them kicked her on purpose and broke her back leg.
What the hell? I, people who kick dogs and do stuff like that and hurt children should be shot. I do not understand the
Yeah.
violence towards children and animals and the violence towards anyone. But I mean, really, children and animals that can't defend themselves, that's
Oh
just
yeah.
disgusting.
And she's right now with her leg the way it's been. Um, she has already been taken to the vet, and the vet said they can't really do anything about it. They can try to pop it back in, but if it gets popped back in, she's at risk for having arthritis, and so now it's just limp.
Oh, honey. Oh, you're precious though.
I
Well,
have another dog in here. Her name is Celine. She is a Schnauzer mix, and she's near Brian right now. She That one, OMG. Give her a chance to, and she'll sit there and continue to lick your face for hours and won't stop.
oh, she's a lover. That's
We're trying not.
awesome.
We're trying to get her to not lick us too much because phew, her breath is kicking.
See, that's the most amazing thing that I have two cats and a dog. They're all rescue. And the one thing we cannot figure out is my dog. She is half black lab and half boxer, and she looks more like a black lab, the head, but with a black body, the boxer body, but black. She's the only dog I've ever known that never has bad breath and actually smells even better when she's wet, which is backwards. But she's like the most magical dog ever.
Well,
Except
speaking.
she was returned to the vet. Not to the vet. She was returned to the shelter twice. And we're
Um,
like, how did you do this? This dog's wonderful.
um, well, speaking of dogs that have bad breath, the dog that's on my lap, she doesn't have a whole lot of bad breath. But then I look at my dog's teeth and I'm like, okay, there's why you got bad breath because your teeth, need to be taken care of. And
Yes.
so the dog in my lap, her breath isn't as bad. It isn't like, ooh, to kill us with your stinky dog breath.
Yeah, a lot of dogs do. WrestleMania says, thank you so much for sharing your time with us, Mama Styles. He really appreciates it.
You're
Um,
welcome.
Anybody who's come through or anybody on the replay, thank you so much for listening. We have a lot of people who come through on the replay, and we really appreciate it. WrestleMania says, dog licking your face, automatic makeup removing device. Yeah, all too true. A little bit sticky though. I don't wear foundation, so I will be trying to find another one in the fall, but that's the one thing that I don't really like is putting foundation on my face. I think I've worn it once on YouTube, but to each their own. They get to do everything. That's the wonderful thing of makeup is it's self-expression and you get to do it yourself. And we will wrap it up so Mama Styles can attend to her wonderful dog and her child. And she will be back again for some other special discussions if she would like. She's always welcome. But I will let you get going. So, but thank you so much, Mama Styles. I have really enjoyed having you on, as everybody has really enjoyed listening. And I would love to have you back again sometime.
Okay. Well, if my bedtime wasn't my son's bedtime, I would definitely join for the adult edition because we do not want my 2-year old around for that.
No, no, absolutely not. But we'll have to see. And as Mr. Leo gets bigger, maybe he'll be sleeping a little bit and you'll get to sleep and whatnot. So, all right, guys, thank you all for joining us. And thank you all for being here on the return. Alien6467 says, great headphones, Mama Style. Thank you so much, guys. I am thrilled. I disappeared for a week, and you guys are here right back. And I am so thankful. I missed you all. I will be back Monday for Lady Borgia Live, and we will see what's going on next week because I'm in the midst of planning it. Yeah, I know. The planner has actually not have all of next week fully planned out yet. Isn't that strange? But it's
Yeah.
okay. I'll live for once, not full planning things 4 weeks in advance, although it will be soon. All right, that is all. There is no more, and we will see about having Mama Styles back again for a special discussion. I will announce everything else. And by the way, guys, please come back and comment afterwards for everyone on the replay to find you. And once again, thank you so much to Mama Styles. I've had a wonderful time. All right, guys.
And sorry about my Mr. Weirdo husband coming and tickling me, and I have to make weird faces trying not to laugh.
I think that's wonderful. I think affection is and love is always a fantastic thing, and I'm always going to give a huge thumbs up to that. So that is awesome. All right, guys, thank you so much. It is great to be back. I will have lots of videos and things coming for you, and health and wellness, makeup, all kinds of colors and whatnot. And I've got some crazy stuff coming that's arriving in the mail to show you. All right, good night, though. It's glad to be back. Love you all. Lady Borgia.